Rembrandt Communications helps you boost sales, awareness, and credibility fast with a unique combination of SEO, copywriting, content marketing strategy, and public relations. Visit RembrandtWrites.com for your free initial consultation today.
Welcome back to Simplify Your Small Business. David Wolf, once again with the amazing Melanie Rembrandt, the PR expert for small business. How are you, Melanie?
Hi, David. I'm good. How are you this morning?
Excellent. Doing fantastical, he said. And we got, I never trip over words, right, Melanie? We have
never.
a really special guest joining us. Ken McElroy is with us. He is the real estate advisor to Robert Kiyosaki of the Rich Dad Company. You've heard of that. The author of 4 books. And now managing nearly $1 billion in real estate assets. Ken, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate being on with you guys.
And Melanie, I know we talked about you introducing Ken. So anything else you'd like to add about Ken that I didn't hit?
Well, I'd just like to say I had the pleasure working with Ken several years ago. And if you want to know anything about property management or real estate investment, he is the guy. I have several of his books, and there are Post-its and highlighted notes all over them, and they're all crumpled because I've used them so much. So, Ken, I'm so happy to have you on our program today.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So, Ken, Melanie and I like to help small business owners understand how to simplify any aspect of their business, the operational side, the how they show up in it, the how they surround themselves with great teams, from top to bottom. So, what are some of the things that you think entrepreneurs can do to help simplify their small business?
Well, I think actually there's 2 things that come to mind right away. The first thing is that I find is that, and this happened to me when I first started, was paying attention to the accounting and the cash. And I know this is a pretty boring subject, but the truth is, you really need to have, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that basically run their businesses from a bank account, and they don't really know where they are. And I think it's really important to hire you don't need an expensive little bookkeeper, but just somebody or a couple $100 a month to put things in paper and then to study that, and it'll provide you direction. I found that to be a real huge problem. And also, once they do it, I find that they see things in there and patterns in there that make them adjust. And that's all we're trying to do, is just adjust from month to month to month, or quarter to quarter to quarter, or year to year to year. That's the first thing. But I think probably the most important thing, David and Melanie, that I found is that sometimes you get so consumed in doing what you're doing that you don't take a breath and you don't look up and try to understand what the business looks like from the customer's perspective. And I think that taking the position always from, okay, what does the customer see? What do they want? Always needs to be at the forethought of every decision that's made, because they ultimately are the ones that are paying you.
That is huge, because a lot of us start our businesses and are in it for so long, we forget the true value we're providing. And things change too. I mean, you constantly have to have your finger on the pulse of what your customers want and how they see your business. So I completely understand that and agree with it.
Yeah, you got this moving target going on, and the customer really understands the experience of your business in a way that you never will. You'll always be too close to all of your ideas. We tend to live in a bubble, and we can tell ourselves a lot of stories, Ken, that can talk ourselves in or out of rationalizing this or rationalizing why we deploy this or deploy that or change this feature or whatever it is we do. And so it's great advice.
Yeah, thank you.
And Ken, how are some of the ways that you keep track of what your customers want? What are some of the things you do?
Well, I think honestly, the best thing that happened to us, all of us, is the internet. You know, you look at Yelp, you look at the Amazon reviews, you look at, anything that's being reviewed by customers. Uber, I think it's the best thing ever, because I think it keeps everything in check. That is everything. And so, I mean, you just, not to beat on taxis, but you look at the way taxi drivers were versus Uber, it's a huge difference. And it's because they're trying to get that high Uber rating. It's the same thing on any seller on Amazon or anything like that. So So we do basically the same thing. We go to our customers and we ask, what could we do? What could we be doing better? I actually think that most businesses people could go anywhere. They can go anywhere for marketing. They can go anywhere for real estate. They can invest anywhere. And so I think that you have to pay attention to those things and deliver what they want within reason.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's so simple. You just ask them. A lot of people look at technology or they hide behind emails, but sometimes it's that one-on-one interaction where you really find out what they're thinking.
They absolutely do. Yeah. And I actually believe it's that simple, and it all starts with top management as you know, but I think the worst thing that could ever happen, and I've been guilty of this, is coming up with ideas in the boardroom or the conference room and trying to push them down in the organization. It just doesn't work. It has to have you have to have buy-in from all your people. So for me, I have let's say 250 people working at my properties. We hold a conference twice a year. We fly everybody in, and basically we're like, okay, what could we be doing better as a company? And then all those ideas come from the room, as opposed to me saying, this is our agenda and these are the things I want to do next year.
Love that, Ken. It's like boots on the ground. That's your source of information, because they're going to know at a granular level what's happening operationally. With 300 employees total, I mean, you could argue that you've got to abstract a lot of complexity out of that to simplify it, which is why we're here today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny though, is people have opinions, if they're asked, and,
right.
and I love it. And they're interacting with our customer and they're saying, hey, this takes a lot of time, or this, why do I have to go to 3 places to get this? And, and so those things happen no matter how well run a company. And, and then new people are hired and new policies and regulations come in, and, all that stuff happens over time. And you got to constantly be, I think, fishing into that employee well and finding out what it is our customers need and want, and then also the customer itself.
Love it. Melanie, anything to add there?
I'd just like to say thanks for your insights, Ken. It's just so down to earth, but people, I think, forget that, some of the simple things work best.
They do.
Amazing. Ken McElroy, you can find out more about the work Ken does at kenmcelroy.com. We'll put it in the show notes, KenMCELROY. Hope I got that right, .com. I'm not a great speller, but I can talk now and then. Ken, thanks so much for joining us on the program. Melanie,
my pleasure.
Thanks, Ken. We really appreciate it.
You bet. You guys are the best. Appreciate it.
Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Podcast and Radio Networks produces and distributes podcasts and audiobooks for authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, and business leaders. If you're an existing podcaster, find out about our unique Grow Your Podcast distribution program to help you grow, connect, engage, and transact with your audience. Learn more at podcastandradio.com.